So good morning, everyone. My name's Lydia, and I'm part of the new prayer team with the new coordinator system. It's really good to be with you this morning, and it's my pleasure to be here with you. Life is a bit upside down and messy at the moment. We don't really know what's going on or what to do for the best in terms of keeping ourselves and our loved ones safe. Because of COVID-19, life has been turned upside down in many ways, and lots of things have been cancelled or postponed, and we've had to plan things really carefully, even trips to the shops. You can't just pop out for milk anymore, you have to don masks, hand sanitizer, and remember to stay away from everyone you don't live with. Meeting up with friends and family has been hard to do. Some of us are grieving the loss of loved ones, and we are broken-hearted. On top of this, Christmas Day is a month today. Today, believe it or not, is the 25th of November. Are you ready yet for what's to come? Have you, like me, got an overlarge turkey in your freezer? Have you got your veg ordered? Have you got your bits of gifts bought? Not wrapped yet, maybe, but bought. And if you're involved in children and families ministry, like myself, maybe your house is starting to slowly fill up with bits to put in craft packs, or maybe to put in the post or to drop off at some point. Are you, like me, wondering when you're going to fit everything in? Have you, like me, got enough risk assessments to decorate every wall in your house with? Or maybe you're sat in the quiet, wondering just how Christmas is going to look because it seems impossible. Because it's just you. There's no help. There's no one to talk to. And you're missing the children and families you normally work alongside. However, before I get to the point of spiralling out of control, thinking of all the to-do lists that are yet unfinished, but somehow growing by the hour, or thinking about how complicated and impossible Christmas looks right now, let's take a minute. Let's stop. Let's breathe. As we light this candle, let's remember God is with us. 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 Even in the midst of despair, even when we are too busy, even when things aren't going to plan, even when we aren't paying attention, even in the mess of life, God is with us. Even in the midst of joy, when we are sat still, when we are in tune with God's plan, when we are paying full attention, in the mess of life, God is with us. I don't know about you, but Christmas seems to be hurtling towards me faster than I can process. This year has been so strange. and all the days seem to have blurred and blobbed together. I asked a variety of people to tell me what the word Advent means to them. And I've collated it into a Wordle. Don't know if you've seen Wordles before. But each word that you put in, you can put words in more than once, and each time it appears, it gets bigger. So the most popular word in response was waiting, followed by hope, anticipation, preparing, but also words like a long way to go, coming, impatience, unimaginable, stripping back. I wonder what words you have. How would you describe Advent in one word today? Just seeing Lucy's comment, I haven't even bought a frozen sprout yet. Fair enough. What word would you use to describe Advent? What word would you associate with Advent this year, today? Pause. There's a sense in which life was paused when lockdown 2 came, wasn't there? I think it's important to note that the words we might use to describe Advent themselves might not change this year, but their meanings and emphases might. So waiting, for me, is waiting for the time when I can get back out there and do children's work, to run Messy Church again, and to be with people in person. As a person who is shielding, this for me has been really hard at times. I almost feel like life has been paused and I'm waiting for it to get started again. That said, there have been opportunities to share in God's love and his work, and it's also been a beautiful time at times as well. There's words coming through like dreary and painful and uncertain, and I think the COVID situation has left us feeling like that as well. In Advent, we prepare for the coming of the Christ child. This is the Christ child. He's holding out his hands to give you a hug. Goodness knows we need those right now. In Advent, there are loads of different ways to mark our days. These days, you can buy Advent calendars of all sorts of things, and you can even buy them for dogs. I wonder what the most bizarre or unusual Advent calendar you've seen is. I saw when I was Googling it last night a glow-in-the-dark candy one, but I don't know whether the glow-in-the-dark candy would make you therefore glow-in-the-dark. I'll have to find that one out. There's a 24 selfies to Christmas one, which gives you a different selfie prop each day. There's a new Pringles one, and I didn't think there were 24 varieties of Pringles, but I'll have to look into that one as well. And of course, the many cheese advent calendars that are starting to come out. There are also ways to mark the time, like advent rings and liturgies. And one of my Christmas presents arrived early this year. If I can reach it. I've got a beautiful wooden one for at home, which has the different names of Jesus, some of the different names for Jesus around it, to remind ourselves of who it is that we're remembering. So things like Emmanuel, God is with us, Roots of Jesse, Key of David, King of Nations. And we also have Advent candles. And in my circuit in which I work, we're giving everyone an Advent candle and a sheet to pray together in this season. There are various liturgies and things to do as well in church. The one that I'm doing with a group of people from my circuit is we're going through the Advent godly playthings. So we started last week with the Holy Family story, and then we'll work our way through the Advent stories. And I wanted to spend some time this morning looking at this in a bit more detail. If we are to become Christ-centred again, we need to focus on Christ, on the Christ child. In reorientating ourselves back to Christ, we find a sense of peace and calm. And it's not just a one-time deal, but he is a constant presence. God says, "Draw near to me, and I will draw near to you." The Christ child grew up, and he became a man, and that man died, which was really sad, but also wonderful in an Easter sort of way, because now he can reach out and give the whole world a hug. And God's got the whole world in his hands. We're an Easter people, and we live in the light of the resurrection. I wonder what this could tell us, what it could tell our neighbours, and tell the world. How do we know that we are loved? How do we help others know that they are loved too? At Christmas, Christ came into the world where there was no room for him whatsoever. How do we make room? How do we make room in our hearts and in our schedules and in our lives? God has space and room for everyone. Advent leads us to Bethlehem. It leads us to the Christ child. Christmas gives us hope, light, Jesus, and a love that came down for us. God is with us. God is for us. He brings us peace and joy and love. He is a reason to celebrate. This Advent and this Christmas may look and feel different, but God has not changed. I wonder, how can we find life in all of its messiness? I wonder if we could take some time each day to sit with God and reflect with him about what this season, both of Advent, which Martin has said is an adventure, and this season of COVID, what these seasons might teach us. How can we still watch for signs of God in these difficult times? I wonder what is most important. How do we know what is most important? And how do we bring people on this adventure with us? Sue has put in the comments about asking people to display nativity scenes in their windows. I think this is a fantastic opportunity to put God in each house. I spent most of the day yesterday compiling some packs of my own to send out. If we look at the Holy Family of Mary and Joseph and Jesus, each of these people had choices to make. Mary could have said no, she could have chosen to say no, but she was faithful and obedient and said yes. And in the same way, Joseph could have walked out, he could have left, but he made a choice too. And Jesus had a choice. Jesus was very close to God, and God was very close to Jesus in his time on earth. I wonder what choices we could make this Advent. What is God calling us to do? There are loads and loads of resources out there to help us to draw closer to God. But I've found some really helpful ones that Lucy's going to put into the chat. The first one is a make your own Advent calendar, and you can put your own prayers into this. And my godchildren, I've decided to send them each a colour changing tea light, and we're going to pray together on WhatsApp during this Advent. And I'm hopefully going to send them a different prayer each day. There are loads of Advent resources out there suitable for children as well. And there's a couple of books. I'm just going to bring that up on my laptop because it's just crashed. Roots on the web have also made a Roots family tree. And there's a website called We Wonder Pod, which goes through the Jessie tree as well and has different symbols on it each day and a different set of wondering questions and a prayer. There's two books called Advent Together by Steve and Becca Legg and Tracy Smith, Advent and Christmas book aimed at families, which is called Faithful Families for Advent and Christmas. And these are just really simple but beautiful ways to celebrate Advent together and bring the meaning of Advent out for us. I really like what Pat has just said about Jesus on the cross. Perhaps that was the ultimate display of trust at the centre of despair. I wonder what you're doing as a church or as a family in this season of Advent. I wonder if you'd like to share what you've got planned. Whilst being mindful that we need to spend time with God too, and not just be full of busyness and messiness all the time. and then we'll pray. Let's pray together. Lord, thank you for coming down to earth at Christmas. We pray that we will remember that deep love and that joy. Thank you that you are a king, but not an ordinary sort of king. You're a king for ordinary people. And you call us to lead extraordinary lives. You came into a messy world in a messy way. Help us to prepare room in our hearts and lives for you this Christmas. Help us to use this season of Advent for your glory. We thank you for Mary, an ordinary woman who made an extraordinary choice to follow you and to trust in you. We pray that when we think of Mary, we will think of the call in our own lives to follow you and to trust in you. And we remember Joseph, who was obedient and faithful to Mary, and obedient to you. We pray for our messy families at this time, which is so hard for many. We pray that you will bring some joy and some peace into our messy families' lives. Help us to reach out to them in your name and with your love. And we thank you that we are an Easter people, living in the light of the resurrection. We pray for our world, which is broken and fragmented in so many different ways. We pray for your healing and your strength. And we remember those who have lost their lives to COVID and have lost loved ones to COVID, that you will be with them, comforting them and bringing them peace. And we lift ourselves to you, Lord. Help us in the run-up to Advent and Christmas to be rooted in you, to continually orientate ourselves to you, so that even when life feels chaotic and messy and busy, we can find a moment to draw near to you. so that you will draw near to us. And as we journey towards Bethlehem together, give us a sense of adventure, to try new things, so that we can live to your glory and your praise. Amen. And we'll end with a messy blessing for Advent from New Hampshire in USA. May the stories you tell, the people you meet, the ways you fill your days during this season bring you closer to Bethlehem. May your hearts be full of kindness and compassion. May you say thank you and I'm sorry often. May you find the courage to be brave like Mary, to say yes to God wherever God is calling you, remembering that on your journey there will be darkness and there will be light, but that God is always with you. Amen. Thank you for having me this morning, and thank you for allowing me the privilege to share with you. And I pray that as you journey onwards, you will come to know just how much God loves you. Thank you.